It's time for the next big thing in tech, is buying fine art on the web, the wave of the future. And we're very lucky enough to have Catherine Levene and Christopher Vroom on the set with us. And they are from Artspace.com. Thank you so much for being here. And let me start with you, Catherine. You're the CEO of Artspace.com. What's the idea behind Artspace.com?
The idea is that Artspace is an e-commerce site for contemporary art. And we bring together artwork from all over the world, from artists directly, from museums and cultural institutions, and from the most world-renowned galleries onto one platform and make it available for sale at really accessible prices.
That sounds pretty cool. On the other hand, there are a lot of companies that do that, like 20 by 200 is doing it for photography, Paddle8, I just heard of another new site. Like, how do you differentiate in this market that is clearly a big market, but there's lots of competition?
Sure. You know, we're really looking at well-known artists, the most well-known artists in the world, as well as the most promising rising stars. So first is that it's highly curated. We work across all mediums, so sites like 20 by 200, great site, but prints only. And mostly really new artists. So we're dealing with world-class artists. We're working with prints and photography, sculptures, multimedia, drawing across all mediums. And we're really the only site in the category that you can actually buy the work directly from the site.
Chris, this isn't the way that fine art has been sold traditionally. It's traditionally been sold through galleries, through private meetings, very much on a person-to-person basis, who knows whom.
Definitely.
And it's all about those relationships. How is this going to overcome that long-standing relationship tradition?
You're absolutely right. Historically, art has been sold through the gallery channel. Auctions have become increasingly important in the sale of fine art. Relationships are not as important in the auction part
When you've
of the
got
business.
a reputation already, the auction can work, right?
That's absolutely right, and that's actually one of the reasons why we focused on world-renowned artists to bring to Artspace. So we're working with all of those galleries, art fairs, artists directly, museums, cultural institutions. We're the only site out there that brings all of these entities in the arts ecosystem to one place and where you can actually buy. And we do think that in the middle market, those relationships, while still important, are not going to be the deciding factor.
So what's the middle market? Could Spencer afford to buy a few of these?
I don't think so.
If he saves his pennies, he can afford it. But under $30,000 to $50,000 in price, that's a
Per item.
Per item. That's a part of the market where the galleries have trouble focusing. And what we're attempting to do is nurture that next generation of collectors to aggregate them into one place and then actually deliver to the galleries a new set of relationships that they can't cost effectively acquire otherwise.
So you're not trying to cut out the gallery?
By no means. In fact, we partner with the leading galleries in the world to help them market middle market priced works, to aggregate the art interested constituents worldwide, bring them to one place and facilitate greater engagement with terrific galleries, institutions, and directly with artists.
Have you seen any pushback from the galleries? Any sort of please go away? You know, sorry, we're not interested. Not today. Talk to the hand. Or let's say you knock on the door and whatever. Has there been a bit of that?
Well, you know, this was tried years and years ago, 10 years ago, where people started to aggregate, or sites started to aggregate works and sell them online, and the market wasn't quite ready for it. Fast forward 10 years, and you know, every other category is sold through the internet, at least to some degree. And I think the art world recognizes that this is coming and that they want to be a part of it. So we actually started with very well-known galleries, the top galleries in Chelsea and London. And when we broke those and started selling work for them, they started realizing what an opportunity it was, and many other galleries joined after that.
You did mention that most other products are sold on the web, but most other products aren't sold through a dealer network. Like, I think I was in the car industry, and cars are sold through a dealer network, and the dealers don't really want their cars sold over the web. Is there a similarity there, do you see? And there are some high-priced cars.
I think, but you know, internet penetration in the automobile industry is very high now. I mean, I think it's a continuum.
But you still need to go to a dealer.
You do still need to go to the dealer, and in the art market, for many, many years, art has been sold by those dealers via JPEGs and via email all around the world. And what we're doing is we're systematizing an existing process, making it more efficient, and using consumer internet technologies to aggregate a larger group of customers.
What's the community component of this? Because, as you said, art's a very social activity. People are, you know, in that world are very chatty. They're talking about it. Is that something you're trying to leverage to sort of like promote this idea?
Absolutely.
We are, and
Yeah.
I mean, so the first part was that we have information and education to help people really understand the artists' work and the galleries and the museums. And then over time, we're going to allow our users to sort of connect directly with each other, connect with artists directly, really understand where their program is going. So we do believe that over time that there will be more and more community and social features in Artspace for people to be able to engage with.
So, brass tacks question. When did you start selling, and how is the selling going so far?
We started just about a year ago. March 29th, the site launched. We've sold to 23 countries and something like 36 states. So, you know, it's very gratifying to help connect emerging collectors with a wide range of great art from all around the world. And we've had orders from Brazil and Asia and Australia and Europe and the UK.
Could you give us any sense for like when Sotheby's or Christie's is like, we sold $10 million worth of art this weekend? Do you do similar figures like that?
We don't talk specifically about aggregate milestones, but we did have an interesting milestone a couple of weeks ago where we sold a $125,000 sculpture online, sight unseen. And so that tells us that the price threshold that indicates comfort with buying online in the art category is moving up, and I think it'll continue to do so.
Now, we know a lot of people out there watching Digits want to start their own company, and they want lessons learned from people who've started. So what was the biggest, if I don't want to say boo-boo, but yeah, let's say it.
And you've had history with other companies
But
before.
yeah, what's the
too,
biggest
so,
boo-boo you've made, both of you? We'll start with you, Catherine. In starting up a company, maybe this company, maybe a company before, that you think people should avoid and learn to avoid?
Well, I think there's a trade-off between moving really fast, which is what you typically have to do in the internet space, and making decisions that you may have to go back and deal with later. So, I mean, I think we got a fully functioning e-commerce site up in 3 months. And I think some of the decisions that we made regarding the flexibility of the platform, you know, we've had to go back and make some changes to, and we had an overwhelming response to the amount of art coming onto the site. And in the initial days, we had a platform that wasn't able to actually get it on fast enough. And so some of the decisions are about moving fast versus, you know, taking the time to build, you know, something that's going to last a very long time. And our site will last, but we're constantly evolving the technology.
You know, from my standpoint, I mean, we've got a big opportunity. This is a $40 billion business. We think $10 billion is going to translate online. And we have a large number of small strategic steps that we need to take to get there. And I think that, to Catherine's point on the technology build, focusing on the smaller points, you know, we always have to balance the big vision view and focusing very narrowly on, you know, those small steps. And I think that, you know, in focusing initially on some of the near-term opportunities, we, as Catherine said, didn't build the platform out to fully articulate the longer-term vision.
So I've got to ask, what's to stop Spencer and I tonight
From doing what?
doing one of these? I mean, I live in Williamsburg, you know, and you could move there. We could set up something like this. Go talk to local galleries, get some stuff up. What do you think? I mean, what is the moat that stops somebody else coming in? Not necessarily us, but somebody actually knows something about art, coming in and saying, "Oh, that's a great idea. Me too."
Well, you made the point at the beginning. Relationships are important, and Catherine and I have a complementary set of relationships and experiences that creates a defensible competitive advantage. I spent 10 years expanding a nonprofit organization, and so developed relationships with cultural institutions, nonprofit galleries, artists all over the world. And that's not an easy thing to replicate, and in the art world, relationships are important. And we do business with people we trust, and trust is critically important to the success of Artspace. Now, Catherine's experience on the technology side also is rare in this space today.
Is there anything you're doing to like disrupt the business model of art besides the distribution? Is there something with the way you're charging to sell it or getting commissions, or is there any change going on there?
You know, right now we're working within the structure of the art market, but over time I think there's a really big opportunity to offer. There's really no one single place that's bringing together the best art from around the world.
There's no eBay for art.
And there is, so there's a very big opportunity to be the single platform for information and for the acquisition of art and for the secondary market.
I can tell you though that we've acquired in the space of 12 months 5 to 10 times the customer base of many of the partners that we're serving. And so, from a disruption standpoint, we're going to be complementary, but we're going to use these tools to aggregate the biggest customer base on the web and market to them effectively.
And we wish you the best of luck with that. And I'm afraid we have to leave it there. Catherine Levene and Christopher Vroom of Artspace.com are the next big thing in tech. Thank you very much for being here.